pardon the AC, it's just so hot today. Let me see if I can step out. So in this vlog, this is Christina from the future, part 2. This is the real future. On this day, the day that I'm gonna post a video, right? So I share 2 long stories in this vlog. So I end up taking a hike and having this long reflection, like hike with me, sharing deepest things on my heart with you guys. So I'll try to mark it in the comments or in the description box, that first like reflection about parenthood and all the stuff, right? And you get to see like the sights of my walk because I have the camera facing out. The second one, I have this like the thing that was on my couch, that like reddish orange comforter or whatever. And in that one, I'm sharing about getting invited to Quartzsite, Arizona, with the RVs. And if you don't know about Quartzsite, let me tell you this: it's a very wide array of explanations and experiences based on who you ask. So to somebody, it's the armpit of Arizona. It's like desolate, stinky. That's where you're gonna go get your Starlink stolen from you. Not a lot to do. And then for other people, it's this very like kind of like whimsical place. A lot of artisans and campers and desert but beautiful views, very cheap BLM land you can stay at, pay very little, and kind of boondock. So, and it might be all those things. It might be all those things. But in that conversation, I share with you why this woman right here, sorry, I came from the gym, part of the bummy shirt. I used to it already, right? So, I share why I chose not to go. Why I chose not to take on that struggle at this time of my life. So stay tuned to that, and that's it. And the rest is just views. And I'm heading off to Arizona, getting closer. This trip is about to wrap up, and then we're gonna move on to something else in this channel. So I'll catch you guys later. I just crossed this little bridge right here, and I see this this sign. The guys at the visitation center told me I should probably take the river trail, but when I looked at the map, this one seems a little bit more risky, and I guess I'm not feeling that adventurous. Just a viewpoint trail, just like I'm supposed to go up those rocks, but then standing here I see that it kind of goes down right there. And I'm just not sure if I should take, which one I should take. I might just turn right back around, likely, because the trail that they recommended is short and is on the other side of this river. So, but I'm curious what's over here. Look at this, these cool rock formations. So I was like, oh, can I go up? Is there like a simple bike ride on? He's like, well, there's some cliffs. And I was like, nah, we good. And then he's like, well, if you go into town, you know, there's some people just like bike into town. And he's like, there's not a lot of dogs that come at you. Just everything he was saying, I was like, okay, I need some more like nature skills, you know. You know how many times I've seen this is poison ivy picture, and I just vaguely remember, I think it has 5 points, you know. I don't really know. So it's getting a little bit more Ruffington over here, I see. I know some niggas climbed that. The fact that people go and hang off of these is crazy to me. And then there's things I do and ways that I live my life, decisions I make that people are like, nah, that's crazy to me. So I know everything is a perspective. Look, my campground this is their drain. Mine is right over there. Look at that sky, man. Just beautiful. Let's keep going. Because at one time, I went camping. 4 kids, sleeping bags at night. Couldn't find a campsite. And we just parked kind of more at the entrance of the park. Not, like a little, maybe like half a mile in. I was like, we're going to do this parking lot here. It was like a dirt parking lot. And I set up the tent, put the stakes in the ground, move niggas in their sleeping bags to sleep. And while we were there, there was a cop that came with the flashlight. Yo, that was crazy. And then when he saw me, he was like, hey, just checking in. When he saw it was me, little old me, he was like, oh. I was like, no, we got here a little late. Couldn't find our spot. So we're camping here, you know, just me and the kids. Because he was like, what's your name? ID. Show him. Okay. I'll look out for you. So that was cool, you know, like he came out and he's like, you're good. Don't even worry about it. Just, you know, in the morning, around this time, about 8 o'clock, just pack up. That way no one bothers you, and then, you know, you can explore. So I was like, say less. So that's what we did. This hike is not bad at all. It's actually nice. You can see down there. So, yeah, it's, I think about those experiences that we had, that even though we don't remember them fully, they remember us adventuring and being in the car and doing things together, right? Like, that's a general gist they remember. I think about the moments in my life that I don't remember. Those that I do and and the many that I don't. But that still formed me, you know, and my nervous system, and my perspective, and my desires and stuff. So, yeah, just think about that. Because when it comes to my kids and I think about this camping stuff. And any experience, for it to be memorable, you need to do it over time, weeks at a time. Look at this. Just the friend that was gonna, the acquaintance that I met, she's decided to go. There's hot springs like 2 hours from here. So I met a woman who I don't know if she'll ever watch this video, but she was an older white woman. She was from California, but she had been living in Albuquerque, New Mexico for a long time. She just bought a kind of like a Sprinter type van and was trying to build it out somewhat to just go on like weekend adventures, right? So she invited me. She's like, you need to, if you have your camper and you're in this area, you need to go to Quartzsite, Arizona. I said, what's that? I don't know what that is. Now, this is why am I sharing this? Because I just want to share my thought process of like, why didn't I go to Quartzsite? This life of nomad life, RV life, van life, was something that she had taken on, from what she shared with me, to like break free from like fitting in a mold for a long time. She had some kind of experience growing up where it kind of made her afraid, like somebody's gonna come and kill her, you know. She had said even like, I've lived with this fear for so long, and like now she's putting it to the test. Like she's about to see if somebody's gonna come and try to take her out. So while I was in my camper thinking like, damn, I'm by myself, this little lock is gonna, she was thinking the same thing in her van. It's kind of funny, but whatever. Point was that you see people out here that, because they didn't suffer, because they haven't gone through poverty over time, because they didn't grow up in the projects, because they didn't grow up in urban New York, whatever the case is, like they, hola, ¿cómo está? Because they didn't, they are seeking that, because what I see is that everybody needs that in their life, you know. Everybody needs a certain level of that to kind of like actualize themselves. How do you know if you're strong if you can't pick up a certain weight, right? Like you have to flex that muscle. So that there's a certain level of proving things to yourself, or like being in unsure circumstances, meeting strangers, spending nights in the desert with people you don't know, and powwowing and letting people in your hair and feeding you food and all this stuff. That is like, okay, there's a certain level of that sounded cool. I was like, you know what, maybe this would be fun. But I said, hold on. Hold up. I've been through those things already in my life. Listen, depending when I don't know how much I'm gonna end up sharing on YouTube, if I'm honest, but I've had a lot of lives in this one little 37 years of my life. And from shelter, homeless, to having a home, growing up in East Harlem in the projects over there, marrying, completely regretting that decision after having kids. Like, there's been a lot of stuff. Starting a business, working for a nonprofit for so many years, like getting to know myself. There's so much that in my life I've experienced. Sorry, the cameras are like that. A lot of turmoil and struggle that I've had to experience. And now again, I'm not saying she has not, but it's like now in my life, that level of adventure and like seeking the unknown, as much of a Sagittarius as I am, an adventurer as I am, right? This would test some people. I don't want that. Is it worth me going off my path 3 hours to go find this adventure when who knows what awaits me over there? Being that the recommendation is coming from where it's coming from, you know, I have to receive it in the way that she shared with me. She meant well. And like I said, I likely will go one day, but I was gonna have to struggle. I don't have solar panels. I don't even have a generator. So it was like I was gonna have to pick one up to be out there in uncertainty when I had that for the last few years. You know what I'm saying? Like, no. Not what I had Saeed. Let's leave that right there. I want to have adventure, but I also want certain comforts. And spending time with strangers is not one of them. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes people get into this lifestyle to seek the instability that they didn't have, that would have helped them prove themselves or to others. Sometimes people are in this lifestyle because you want to break a certain mold of your life pattern, you know. But when you've had those experiences already, you can use this vehicle. That's really what it is. I feel, and that's where I'm at right now. Like, nomadic life is like, you can't even put a hashtag to everything. Every life experience, whether it's a job, whether it's an RV life, whether it's whatever, is a vehicle to get to a certain level of evolvement or actualization or development that we have for ourselves. And I don't gotta be hoping for a shower in the desert, smelling poop for that. I saw some videos that were like, Quartzsite is like the armpit of America. I've already been to a place like that. I've already lived in a place like that. I've already built community in a place like that. Some might say. I'm not saying it was an armpit, but it was definitely like, if you think about the state of New York, it was one of the places that ain't nobody know about. It was literally. So I just thought about that. I was just like, damn, I spent a certain amount of years living in a place that's more desolate, that's more hurting, that's more. I'm gonna take this camp over there to go settle into a place where I lived for years and I'm ready to bounce from. No. So yeah. So that put it into perspective. I realized it just wasn't for me. And again, I'm not saying instability as a judgment. I'm saying instability as a way of proving yourself. Like, can I? No. Now it's forget the can I. I know I can do it. It's like, do it. That's where I'm at. I'm here to build business. I'm here to. Fun? Fun is work. Work is fun. I hope I explain myself. I hope I don't have to add anything else because I'm not in the mood to be on the camera right now. I'm ready to be. All right. I'm gonna lock up and start driving toward Flagstaff, Arizona. I don't know if I'm gonna make it out there. It's like a 6-hour drive, which means it's 8 hours for me. And it's already 10:30 in the morning. So as long my goal was to get to Gallup, New Mexico, but I'm gonna see how I'm feeling, you know, based on how this drive goes, and make a decision probably at my next pit stop. So time to pack up and go.